Texans fan, hold on tight because what we saw against the Titans was more than just a win, it was a statement. Winning 26-0 in the NFL is something extremely rare, and it showed that Houston is on another level. The defense swallowed everything. The offense, led by Stroud, distributed passes with confidence, and every unit played at the limit. And now, in Week 5, the stage is perfect. The Ravens arrive without Lamar Jackson, without Roquan Smith, without Marlon Humphrey, and with an injury list that dismantled the entire team. This video will show why Houston has a huge advantage this Sunday and how this opportunity can be historic. Soon, I will reveal how the same defense that gave up nothing to the Titans now has every condition to dismantle Baltimore's improvised offense. The first point is simple. Jackson is not playing. There were 5 wins in 5 matchups against the Texans, and now he is out with a hamstring injury. In his place comes Cooper Rush, a quarterback who does not have the same mobility, cannot improvise in the same way, and will face one of the most aggressive defenses in the NFL. This already completely changes the dynamics of the game. Baltimore loses its biggest offensive weapon and hands control to a backup who will have to deal with constant pressure. In a moment, I will show you how Stroud has been growing and how this evolution of the offense creates a brutal contrast with what the Ravens will have on the field. The Texans' offense against Tennessee was proof of maturity. Stroud distributed passes to multiple targets, a 37-yard connection with Nico Collins, a 24-yard touchdown to Jaden Higgins, and another 12-yard score to Woody Marks. The offensive line protected well and allowed the quarterback to keep the pace even under pressure. Additionally, the running game showed up. Nick Chubb punished up the middle, and Marks brought explosiveness to the outside. This mix keeps the opposing defense off balance, and, against Baltimore without its main defenders, the chance to score quickly is huge. Shortly, I will show how the Ravens' patched secondary, lacking leaders, can become an easy target for Collins. The Ravens arrive with an impressive list of absences. Without Roquan Smith at the heart of the defense, without Marlon Humphrey and Awuzie at cornerback, and without Madubuike in the interior pass rush, the team loses strength in every unit. Kyle Hamilton is still a doubt, which means the secondary enters without full communication. Against an offense that has already shown variety and balance, this is practically opening the door for big plays. Baltimore, which already gave up 37 points to Kansas City, now faces an offense that is on a roll. Shortly, I will tell you how the Ravens' offensive line, which was already vulnerable, can be crushed by the combined pressure of Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. The Texans' defense showed against the Titans that it knows how to suffocate. 4 quarters without giving up points, an interception by Stingley, sacks by Hunter, and constant pressure from Anderson. Ward could not surpass 110 yards, Pollard was limited on key runs, and Tennessee's offense completely lost its rhythm. Now, imagine Cooper Rush facing this scenario. A pocket that has already given up 15 sacks in 4 games will deal with one of the most dangerous pass rush duos in the league. Every play becomes a race against time. Next, I will show why the running game, which could save the Ravens, also provides no security at all. Even with Derrick Henry on the roster, Baltimore cannot establish an identity running the ball. Against Kansas City, Henry had only 8 carries despite a good average of 5.3 yards. Justice Hill had a 71-yard burst, but after that, the team abandoned the run and started to pass excessively. This lack of balance is exactly what Houston wants. Without consistent runs, Rush will have to throw more than he should, and each attempt becomes a turnover opportunity. And remember, the Texans' defense has not allowed more than 21 points in any game this season. Shortly, I will show how the historical factor of this matchup weighs emotionally and how Houston can turn the narrative this Sunday. Historically, Baltimore has always dominated. There are 6 consecutive wins, including the Christmas Massacre. Jackson has never lost to Houston, but this Sunday could be the turning point. The Ravens arrive weakened. The Texans arrive at the peak of confidence, boosted by last week's 26-0. Stroud is evolving, the defense is solid, and the entire team seems to have switched gears. This is the golden opportunity to change history against a rival that has always been in the way. In the next part, I will detail how the adjustments made by the coaching staff are transforming Houston into one of the most dangerous teams in the conference. The big question this Sunday is how Baltimore will react without its offensive engine. With Jackson, the Ravens always had the element of surprise, improvised runs, off-structure passes, and the ability to turn a game around in a single play. Without him, this offense becomes predictable. Rush does not threaten on the ground, which means the Texans' defense can focus solely on collapsing the pocket and forcing pressured throws. This scenario is perfect for Hunter and Anderson, who already showed against Tennessee the ability to destabilize a quarterback from the first snap. Shortly, I will show how the Texans' third down and red zone numbers further increase the pressure on Baltimore. Houston's defense does not shine only in yards and points allowed, but in critical moments. Against the Titans, there were numerous stops on third downs, forcing the opponent to kick or turn the ball over. When Tennessee finally reached field goal range, they missed. This shows how psychological pressure also matters. Baltimore, which has already struggled to sustain drives even with Jackson, will now have to convert long third downs with Rush. It is a recipe for more sacks and punts. Shortly, I will show how Houston's offense does not rely solely on Stroud, but also on the running back rotation that is working quietly and efficiently. Nick Chubb and Woody Marks were key pieces in the massacre against Tennessee. Chubb brought power on inside runs, wearing down the opposing defensive line, while Marks provided speed and versatility, even catching important passes that kept drives alive. This duo is the balance Houston lacked in previous years. Now, when the defense collapses to contain Stroud, the running game steps up to punish. This is deadly against a Ravens team without their most dominant linebacker, Smith, who has always been the brain for organizing blocks and closing gaps. Stay tuned because shortly I will show how Houston's wide receivers have favorable matchups to exploit against Baltimore's backup secondary. Nico Collins is on a solid streak, with consistent productions above 70 yards. Against Tennessee, Collins was targeted on decisive plays and opened space for Higgins to score on the long touchdown. The Ravens' defense, without Humphrey and Awuzie, relies on backups who already struggled against Kansas City, allowing over 270 yards and 4 touchdowns to Mahomes. The difference now is that they will not have to deal only with an established quarterback, but with an offense full of confidence and with varied targets. This means that any drive can end in points. Soon, I will show how even the Texans' special teams enter this game as an advantage factor. Kicker Kaimi Fairbairn secured important points against Tennessee, hitting 2 long-distance field goals that paved the way for the massacre. Having a reliable kicker is a valuable weapon in playoff games and also in matchups like this, where every possession can consolidate dominance. If Houston manages to score early, the Ravens will have to take more risks, something Rush is probably not prepared to sustain. This creates a cycle. Defense forces a punt, offense converts into points, and the opponent enters desperation. Shortly, I will explain how the psychological and historical factor of this rivalry can be precisely the fuel for the Texans to enter the field as predators. For years, facing Baltimore meant pain for Houston. Jackson has never lost to the Texans, and the Ravens' defense has always been a terror for Stroud and company. But after the 26-0 against Tennessee, this team gained a sense of identity. They are no longer the underdogs waiting for a miracle, but rather a balanced unit that knows how to control games on both sides of the ball. This weighs not only on tactical preparation, but also on emotional confidence. The players enter knowing they have everything in their favor, while Baltimore arrives shaken, patched up, and without their leader. Next, I will show how this matchup can be the turning point of Houston's season, changing the perception of the entire league. If the Texans confirm this victory, it will not be just a result on the schedule. It will be the definitive proof that the project is working, that Stroud is the quarterback to carry this franchise, and that the defense is elite. Beating a Ravens team, even weakened, still carries historical weight and sends a direct message to the AFC. Houston is ready to fight. The narrative changes, the fans gain renewed hope, and the team positions itself as a real playoff threat. This is the perfect opportunity, and everything points to Sunday being the stage for a definitive statement. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.